Hey everybody, it is just me tonight. So I'm trying to work the tablet for comments and do the chat. So Sabrina is caught up in work. She's not going to make it, but she actually texted me to say that she's surprisingly missing it. She said she didn't think that she would actually miss not making it to a live stream. And she texted me to say that she misses talking with everybody and reading the comments. So I thought that was surprisingly nice. So you are stuck with me for tonight. And tonight's episode is about choosing an RV. We purchased our RV now 1 year ago, last January, and we moved in it in May of last year. And what I thought is that maybe by going through our thought process of how we pick things out, it would help other people decide on items that maybe they're looking for in a motorhome and things like that. Now, of course, everybody's going to be a little bit different, but I thought we would just share. I would just share. So used to saying that I would just share just that process and what it took for us to do it. So when we were shopping around, we shopped for all types of things, from a Class A to a Class C to tow behinds, just everything that was out there. We looked at it. Airstreams, just literally everything. We went to shows. We looked online. I don't think we went into anybody's friends. We rented an RV, and just to get the experience to see what we thought we would need and use. So, as you guys know, we did choose a motorhome over a travel trailer, and the purpose of that was what we decided anyway. And again, this is just my opinions and our opinions. And what we felt was, for traveling full time and never knowing where we were, we liked the idea of having two motored vehicles. If the Class A would break down, we would have the tow vehicle as a backup so that we didn't feel stranded. Like, we could go get help or go get gas. And I think that was the big push for us to choose the motorhome, was just a separate vehicle. The other reason was, with the motorhome, we felt, again, we didn't know where we would be all the time, if we were in bad elements, cold weather or extreme heat or rain. And when we pulled over for the day, we could or even just pulled over just for lunch, everything was like self-contained. We didn't have to go outside into the elements. Although Belle kind of puts a squash on that, because we always have to take her out anyway. So High Life with Ken and Jane. Wow, I might have the tablet too far. So that was the reason why we went with the motorhome over the travel trailer or tow behind. But I will say, after talking to Patrick with his travel trailer, he didn't say this specifically, but after I was speaking to him and I was, looking at his setup, with a tow behind, I did like the fact that his pickup truck was 4-wheel drive, meaning like he could drive. If it snows for us, we're pretty much, we don't have to stop for the day. Even just light snow would stop us from traveling that day. Whereas, Patrick with the tow behind, if there's a little bit of light snow, inch, 2, 3, 4 inches of snow, his truck's on pull that trail. He has 4-wheel drive. His truck's on pull that trailer. So again, it just goes to, you'll have to base it off of what you're really looking for. So that was the reason for the motorhome for us and over the tow behind. The next decision, once we decided on a motorhome, was that we went gas or diesel. And that's another big, huge decision. We decided to go with gas, and for a couple reasons. We thought, again, being out on the road all the time, being in areas that we were not familiar with, we thought the gas would be easier to find mechanics. It's a gas motor. It's a Ford V10, and we just know that Ford dealerships are everywhere. So we just, in our minds, we just felt like we'll never have an issue finding somebody that can service this engine. And if it wasn't a Ford, it's a gas engine, we felt like there's way more gas mechanics than a a certified diesel mechanic or something, you know. So that was the main reason for the gas. But if you're looking for tow capacity and power, then you're probably going to need to go with the diesel. We have a tow capacity of 5,000 pounds. Our tow car is under 4,000 pounds. So we knew that what we were towing, this would be able to handle it just fine. So, wow, I'm really nervous without Sabrina sitting here with me and checking. Am I saying everything okay? But so that was part of the reason for the gas. Another reason is upfront cost. That the cost of going to the diesel engine compared to the gas engine, that the gas is much cheaper, but you do get a lot more than just a diesel engine. When you purchase a diesel motorhome, you're getting that, you're definitely getting the more powerful engine with a higher tow capacity, but you're also getting normally, I believe it's an Allison transmission, which is supposedly a better transmission, and you're normally getting a better ride quality. So a lot of times people will say, oh, well, the diesel costs so much more just for that engine, but you are getting more for that money. It's just not the engine, which we really didn't take that in consideration when we were looking around. Even though we knew you were getting a different transmission and tow capacity, whenever Sabrina and I would look at two different vehicles, we'd be like, do we really want to pay that much more just for an engine? But it really is more than just the engine. And also we felt when we were looking around, this being our first motorhome, and the fact that we never test drove a diesel or knew anybody that had a diesel, we weren't missing anything that we didn't have. You can't miss what you never had. So we figured we'd be fine with the gas, and the gas has worked out really well for us. We've been West Coast, East Coast, up and down up in Canada, down Florida. We've traveled all over. We've done mountains in the West Coast, and the gas has always performed very well. We've never felt like it struggled or anything like that. It gets louder, towing up a hill or something like that, but we have to pass the tractor trailers and every other slow moving vehicle. It's not like it slows us down in any way. So I think we did make the right choice for us with the gas engine. As you guys know, that we've had one or two maintenance issues, a sensor, and we had to be reprogrammed, and we were able to find Fords within an area that we're at and get in and serviced and stuff like that. So I do believe the gas has worked out pretty well for us. All right, we'll move on to, I have a cheat sheet. So now we'll move on to size. And actually, I'll take a quick second just to look through here. This is a lot easier with Sabrina. I've never seen a Class A pulling a travel trailer. All right. Tim's on. Tim had texted me earlier the week, and I texted him, and we were talking, and Tim's RV shopping, and I said, Tim, I'm actually doing a video on RV shopping tonight. All right, so I'll move on to size. Apparently, I can't look at this and do the stream at the same time. I really need Sabrina here. So when we were shopping around looking for the size of a motorhome, we wanted to be under 30 feet. And originally, and I'll say that we wanted to be under 30 feet, and I will say for everybody else, your reasons for going to whatever size you go, I would still suggest, even if you want a larger motorhome, I would still suggest to go as small as possible, but still feel comfortable inside. I think the smaller the RV, the easier you'll find getting in and out of campgrounds, gas stations, and things like that. So just keep it in mind. I wouldn't say that I don't think you have to be under 30 feet, but I would go as small as you possibly can and still be comfortable. And Sabrina and I also had another little saying: if we would walk into a motorhome and say, hey, we can make this work, we stopped looking at it, because we knew being on the road and being our first RV that we would have plenty of things that we knew that we would have to make it work. And the motorhome wasn't one of the things that we wanted to be, to be one of those things. If we walked into an RV and said, yeah, we can make this work, we scratched it. We're like, nope, we're not making it work. It's not the one for us. And we would move on to another style or another size. So I did sidetrack myself a little bit. So size, we did want to go under 30 feet, and the reason for that was that we thought we would be able to get into all the national parks being under 30 feet. And unfortunately, we haven't been to one national park. We've had this for a year and not one national park, and they're on our list. We do want to go see them, but for some reason, it just hasn't worked out for us. We've done the boondocking though, and that was on our list. That was a big deal for us to do the boondocking, but you don't need to be under 30 feet for that. So when we said that we wanted to go small, I guess, and then we decided on a Class A, it doesn't really go together all that well. I don't think of Class A's as being small, but this one it's under 30 feet. And we felt like once we decided that we wanted to go under 30 feet, when we were looking at other drivable vehicles that were under 30 feet that were not Class A's, we felt like the Class A just had a lot more room in it compared to another drivable vehicle that was under 30 feet. We felt the Class A, especially with I'll flash up a picture of the windshield and with the captain's chairs, I really felt like that windshield was like a movie screen to us. When we looked out that movie screen, and even now I still say it to Sabrina while we're driving, I'll tell her, I love this windshield. I love looking out the windshield while we're driving. It's like a movie screen and America's playing on it, I say. And when we're parked, we turn the seats around to either face our TV. I had a picture of the TV. I don't know what happened to it. But we'll spin around and watch TV from that spot. Or how I have in the picture there, we can face each other. I drink coffee. Sabrina doesn't drink coffee, and have my coffee, look outside, and it just gives you a really nice view. It's almost like a bay. To me, it almost feels like a bay window would be. So that was that windshield really sold us on the Class A. I would say that was a big selling point. Let's see, under 30 feet. All right, next we have brands. So RV shopping is extremely, I'll say it's fun first, because it is a lot of fun. We had a blast RV shopping, but it is also overwhelming between brands, styles, sizes, floor plans. It's a lot. It can be really overwhelming. We would go to RV shows with a pen and paper, and we'd write down a model that we liked. We had a like column, a dislike column, and we had pages and pages and pages from going to so many RV shows. And it was the only way that we could keep track of what we liked and what we didn't like. You'd walk out of one RV and walk into another RV, and you'd forget what you liked about the last one, or you look around and you see like shiny new, and it becomes tough. It really does. So, but as far as brands go, I would say that our advice to shop around for a brand is, if you can, go to a factory tour. If there's a particular motorhome that you like, see if they do factory tours. And if they don't do a factory tour, see if they have some type of online version or video of the factory tour. And my other suggestion would be is to go into the forums. If you go into the forums, the RV forums for that brand, you'll see everybody's going to have a list of all the issues with. As far as I know, there's no perfect RV. So every time you go into the forums, you're going to see a list of issues. But what you could do is, and you can break it down from the manufacturer to the brand, go into the forum, take a look at all their issues, and then decide, are these issues that you're comfortable with dealing with? And if they're not, go look for another brand in another forum and look at their issues and see if they're the issues that you're comfortable. You're not. I'd be very surprised if you found an RV and went into the forums and didn't find issues. Is what I'm saying. There's a lot that goes into these motorhomes. Every time you drive them, it's like subjecting them to a little earthquake and things. It's just too many. I think there's just too many parts that go into these things to make them perfect, no matter how well the quality control is or who's putting them together and the materials they use. I mean, we hit some rough roads, rough potholes. This has been holding up really great. We have no major complaints with it. We're actually pleasantly surprised with just how well our motorhome has been doing. But, I mean, the roads are rough. So, like I said, I think the forums are a great way to go in and see what other owners are saying about their particular motorhome. And they're nobody, as far as I know, nobody's in those forums trying to sell you anything. I think that'd be a good way to go. And then I'll talk about some of the things that Sabrina and I had on our must-have lists. And I think most of these worked out pretty good. And then some of the ones, some things that we picked, we actually don't even use. Like, I thought it was a big deal to have the turn signals work, the little camera in the center of the console. I never look at it. I still, I turn my turn signal on. I'm using my mirrors. The mirrors are awesome. They're huge. And you have a lower and an upper one. You can see everything. There's nothing, I don't feel like there's anything on that camera that I can't see in the mirror already. And by force of habit, I've been driving for so long without a camera in the middle, I don't use it. And I thought that was going to be a big deal. When we were shopping around, I was like, oh, we definitely want cameras in our turn signals. And I don't even use it. So that's one thing that we thought we had to have. We thought that was a must-have, and I never even use it. When we were shopping around, we wanted a large freshwater holding tank, or freshwater tank, and we wanted large holding tanks. But we didn't know at the time that the holding tanks were more important than the freshwater tanks. We just kind of lucked out with this one that it does have large holding tanks. But so, when you're out boondocking or just driving your motorhome, and again, this will depend on what type of RVing you're going to be doing. But if you're just doing like weekends and stuff like that, then you just really need a fresh water tank that's going to hold you over till you get to your destination that day or next day, or 2 days. If you're looking to, or holding tanks, I should say. But if you're looking to go, weeks, or not, let's not say weeks. Let's say a week and no hookups and things like that. You really want large holding tanks. The fresh water, you can always add water. We have what's called a fresh fill inlet, and it's easy enough just to add extra water into our fresh water tank. But it's the holding tanks. When they're full, they're full. And then you'll have to do what you probably maybe saw me do last week on our live video, where I'm filling up gray water into buckets and carrying it and safely dumping it. Most parks, RV parks, like the one that we were at then, had a sign that said, "Do not dump your gray water." So I filled it up with buckets and I carried it over to their station. So again, the holding tanks, I believe, are very important. Freshwater is, but not like the holding tanks. Another thing that we wanted this was more RV full timing for us anyway, was large cargo bays, because everything we owned was going in our cargo bays. And I would say also, when you're looking at the storage and the cargo areas, take a look at the doors. When you open a door and you look inside that cargo bay, it might look large, but make sure the door itself is large too. We saw a few RVs that had large cargo. It's kind of weird, and it's something that you might not think of, but large cargo areas, but with small doors. Like, you couldn't actually fit anything through the doorway to get to really. I mean, you could put lots of little items and fill it up, but for us, we carry a ladder with us that's able to fit through our cargo door, and tires. We carry a set of tires on our spare car, on our tow car. We carry snow tires for the tow car. So you want to make sure that you can pass things through the doorway. Another thing for us, RVs, we have what's called a freeze line, because again, we didn't know what type of situations we would be in as far as weather. And so our freeze line, just as long as we keep our motorhome warm inside, it keeps our tanks warm. Other companies do it in other ways. I believe you can have what's called a heated basement. Ours isn't technically a heated basement. There's no forced hot air going down there. It's just if we stay warm, the basement stays warmish, warm enough to be above freezing. Another way, but some motorhomes actually force warm air down into that basement area, and some do tank heaters. They'll put heaters inside the tanks to keep the tanks warm that way. So I think that's something that, if you're looking for full-time, think about some way that you're going to need to keep your tanks warm when the temperatures go below freezing. A Sani flush was a big deal to us. And a Sani flush is a water hose that you connect to your black tank area, and you can flush out the black tank and keep it clean and fresh. If you don't have one, there's other ways to do it, but we just felt like that was the way we wanted to make it easy. Another big deal for us was kitchen space. We wanted to make sure that we had enough kitchen area, because we do a lot of our own cooking, and most of our meals are at home. So I wanted counter space. If that's not a big deal to you, like our friend um, Matt from Nomadic Native, he always says, floor space in an RV is king. And so we kind of took out a little bit of our floor space to get that extra counter, that L shape. So again, like it's different for everybody. So just try to keep these things in mind. And that was something else. That's another little tip that I have, that when we would go RV shopping, we would play house. We'd lay in the beds, pretend that we were getting up for the day, and try to recreate our normal routines. I always go make my coffee, go use the bathroom, grab your clothes out of the closet. And that was something that hit us right away. When we started doing that, we would go into some motorhomes, and Sabrina would be like, all right, now I got to grab my clothes for work. And she'd be like, wow, where's my clothes going for work? Because a lot of them don't, depending on the size of motorhomes and things like that, you might not have a wardrobe. And as you can see in this photo, so she keeps all of her clothes in like a wardrobe cabinet. And it's just something that I think, for the most part, these motorhomes are not built with living in them full time in mind. So, a full-size wardrobe probably is not on the top of their list of things to provide in these motorhomes. So that's what we would do. We would just kind of pretend, we go into the bathroom, step in the showers, make sure you have enough room in your shower. And again, if we said, oh, we can make this work, we walked out of it. We didn't stay in it much longer after that. So just kind of pretend what your normal days would be, and you'll get a feel right away. Just pretend one time to wake up, go grab your clothes, go into the bathroom, and make your coffee, and see if everything works out okay for you. Storage, I talked about. Interior cabinets and all that. We wanted a pantry. We thought a pantry was a big deal, again, because we do so many meals in. Sabrina really wanted a washer and dryer. That's something that we just never got in here. Being under 30 feet, it would have taken up a lot of space. I think she still wishes we had a washer and dryer. So that's one thing that was on our must-haves, but it didn't work out. The workstation that's up front on the passenger side, that was a big deal for Sabrina, so we made sure that she got that. And she's able to set her laptop up there in the passenger seat and do email and play on Facebook. I don't know what she's doing up there. She says she's working. Maybe she is. The AC heat pump, I thought, was a big deal too, and I'm really glad that we got the AC heat pump in this. If the AC, and what it is it works in reverse of an air conditioner. So in the summertime, turn your AC on and it cools your place down, and in the wintertime it reverses that process and heats the place up. And the good thing about that is when you're plugged in to an RV park and you use your AC heat pump, you're saving on your propane. You can use that electric heat instead of your propane and save the gas and make that propane last a little bit longer. The one thing that the AC heat pump has a limitation on is temperature outside. Once it reaches 40 degrees, it has a little temperature control in there, and it shuts it down. I probably should have looked up the reason why it stopped. I guess it just loses so much efficiency at that point. So it's designed to shut off at that temperature. That's what I would imagine anyway. So it's only good for 40 degrees. Once you go into the 30s, it doesn't work anymore. And then you either have to use propane or you do what we do, and we use space heaters. We have 2 space heaters. And let's see, AC heat pump, the pantry. I took a picture of the TV. Kind of the bonuses that came with this particular RV was lights in the cargo bay, which I didn't think was a big deal, but it actually turns out it is, because we have a tendency to get to RV parks late, and it is nice that there's lights in the cargo bays where our water hookups are and our holding tank hookup for the sewage and stuff. It is nice to have that light there, and it doesn't only just shine and light up the cargo bay, but it shines down and lights up the hose attachment down on the ground as well. And the TV worked out to be a nice bonus in here too. We didn't think we really needed a large TV in the motorhome, but sometimes it rains and snows and rains for like days and days. So it is nice to have a decent it is nice to have a decent TV for days and weather like that. So I think that is my entire list. And now my throat hurts. Wow. So let me take a look and see what. See, again, I really apologize that I wasn't able to keep track of the comments. Let me see. Someone said I was doing good. Thank you very much. Someone said about it being easier to maneuver. It is. Our motorhome, being the fact that it's under 30 feet, we get into gas stations. I know we get into gas stations that other RVs just wouldn't even attempt. And sometimes I get into gas stations that I shouldn't attempt, and I've always been able to get in and out of them. And Sabrina will be like, I don't know how you got in and out of this little 7-Eleven with the car and everything, but it does. We say all the time that our motorhome has a better turning radius than the car does. All right. So I don't think I see too many questions. I see a lot of comments. I really appreciate you guys commenting, and hopefully you guys are helping each other out. I hope I'm not getting sick. I hope I'm not getting sick either. I don't think I am. I think I just talked too much too fast. It's already been, well, my clock says 27 minutes. Wow. So 27 minutes of full speaking for me, I guess, is too much. I overdid it. We're called at 27, but we're actually works out to be 28 and a half feet long. So I think that's it for tonight. I appreciate you all stopping in. I'll get Sabrina back here for next time. I don't know what it will be about. And if you're watching this on the replay, send your comments, questions, and help each other out too. If you log on and you're about to leave a comment and you see a question, don't let me answer everything. I'll answer everything, but definitely add your advice too. I think a lot of people that watch our channel are newbies to the RV community, and I think having everybody come together and help out with advice and things like that is, awesome. It's the whole reason why we have the channel. So I would appreciate it. And I'm sure anybody that has a question would appreciate. You can't have more. There's no such thing as too much advice. So thank you, everybody, and take care. Safe travels. Be good to one another, and I'll be watching you. No, I won't be watching you next week. I'll be seeing you next week. I'll be talking to you next week. I'm a mess. Sorry, guys. Bye.